When it comes to concrete, we've got you covered. RowPaint.com offers custom concrete coating services for your garage, business, warehouse, and more. And we do it in one day. We are your complete concrete coatings solution.
Hey, greetings, Boise State fans. Welcome on in the Matt Bauscher Show. Another victorious Matt Bauscher Show. 7-0 now since we started the show. Boise State extends the winning streak to 7 games. I am BJ Rains. He is Matt Bauscher. Matt, welcome to the show again, man. And I guess it's your show, so you should be welcoming me. But another fun game last night, and more positive stuff to talk about. 7 wins in a row, man.
Yeah, undefeated in the month of December, and it's a good feeling. You know, they were 3-4 when we started the show, and 10-4 sure sounds and looks a lot better.
It does. It is crazy to think what a month can do in terms of, I think they went undefeated in December. The very first day I launched this site, Bronco Nation News, was November 30th, the day they lost to St. Louis. Should have won that game. They actually played pretty well except for the free throws, but You push forward to where they are now, and just the new look of this team and what Tyson Degenhardt has brought to the table, and the chemistry this team appears to be playing with, you know, on the court and off the court, and just the this thing continues to build. Every win is a little bit better. Every game they look a little bit better, and now that's 3, you know, top 100 wins in the last 4. If you take out the Montana Tech game, you get the Washington State game, you got the Santa Clara win in there, and then now you start conference play. Last night, Matt. And, you know, Fresno came in, I think 62nd in KenPom. That's a really close game. It was a, 4-point Vegas spread type of game. And Boise State came out in the first half, played pretty well, hit some outside shots, got up by 10, got really interesting, got a little scary there when Fresno came back and took the lead. But for, the 4th or 5th time this year, Boise State finished strong, 17-5 run to end the game, locked down on D in those last 5 minutes, and they come away with a big win, 65-55 to start conference play 1-0.
It was electric. I mean, they said we sold 6,800 tickets. There couldn't have been more than 5,000 actual fans that showed up, but it felt really, really loud there at some, really critical times. It was amazing. I mean, we committed 10 fouls the entire game. They shot 2 free throws the whole game. So, I mean, our defense was on point. We killed them on the boards, hustle plays. We won every single one. That's a huge win going into Wyoming on New Year's Day.
They had Orlando Robinson, who had a pretty big game, and it kind of reminded me of last year, those games against Utah State with Neemias Queta, where he was going for like 30 and 10 every game, but Boise State they couldn't do much about it, and they didn't really try because they just made sure none of the other guys could beat them. And Robinson actually, one of the better players in the league, a first-team player, probably had 22 points, 37 minutes for him, and he was obviously the best player offensively for them. But, Boise State needed some big shots from Marcus Shaver Jr. They got them there in the second half. The game was tied 50-50. Marcus Shaver Jr. had the big three-pointer, had a two-pointer as well to put him up 55-50 and give him a little breathing room with about 4 minutes to go. And, Marcus Shaver is a guy that was, a little bit banged up in the offseason, had a hand injury early in the season, but he's starting to get going, Matt, and he's just his ability for to create his own shot, whether it's a step-back threes, whether it's driving and getting to the rim. I think Marcus Shaver evolving into a premier scorer on this team has kind of coincided with the winning streak here.
And he never pushed it. I mean, you look at Shaver, he took 12 shots, he made 7 of them. He didn't push it. He kind of waited his turn, and then they did a good job of play calling when they felt he was hot. They ran the double screens and he hit some open shots that were huge moments that, it was good execution. I thought all the guys stepped up. Degenhardt only took 3 shots and he played 30 minutes and he was tough as nails, but he didn't push it. Acott was great, leading the team. He went 5 for 9. We had 15 turnovers, which you don't like to see, some lazy passes and some, dribbling into double teams we could have avoided by just, reading the situation a little bit better. But besides the 15 turnovers, I don't think there was, too many lapses. They went on that run, but it was Robinson taking over. And I was talking to a couple NBA scouts last night. I mean, he's really good. We played him well. I mean, some of the shots he was hitting at 7 feet are impressive. And sometimes it's just, great offense beats amazing defense.
Well, let's get some of the highlights going here as we talk about this, Matt. But just in general, if I would have told you before the game, Abu Kijab would only have 6 points, Tyson Degenhart would only have 6 points. Think about the way this team has been going. That's probably not a good recipe for success for this team, and they still found a way to win.
It's the best defensive team I've ever seen in the last 10 years. And you even talk about the Bobby Dye days. They didn't have 6'8" guards who were strong with long arms, guarding the guards. So the athleticism and the way they move, the way they rebound, the way they block out. To only commit 10 fouls and, back-to-back games with Washington State and these guys, they haven't even committed over 10 fouls in a game. They guard really well without reaching, and they're always in position. Very few easy transition buckets or easy points did Fresno have last night. They had to earn everything.
You mentioned that defense, and I was looking at some of the Ken Palm numbers that we talked about last week with the defensive efficiency and some of those things. Matt, they're up to number 19 as they were. They're holding steady at number 19 in the defensive efficiency number. They're at number 26 in a stat called effective defensive field goal percentage, which counts in the fact that a three-pointer is worth 3 and a two-pointer is worth 2, and it's kind of some sabermetric type things than just your shooting percentage. It counts where you shoot from, things like that. And to be number 26 in the country in that, you look at some of these numbers. It's probably the best defense that Leon Rice has had here in his 12 years. And you look at just some of the runs they've ended the games on. Like I said, Matt, they had first of all, seven straight allowing 60 points or less. That's only the 4th time in program history that's happened. The school record is 8. So I know Jeff Linder probably on Saturday is going to want to end that streak. But 7 games in a row, holding a team to under 60 points. As someone that played this game, maybe folks don't realize that. How hard is that one time, let alone 7 games in a row in this day and age of college basketball where the three-point shot is so much of a big deal, to hold 7 straight teams below 60 points?
Basketball is such a game of momentum, and there's nothing more frustrating and irritating as a basketball player than when you can't get easy buckets. You can't get any momentum. And when it's a grind the entire game, 35 minutes, it's tough to get any rhythm, any easy buckets. Last 5 minutes, it's been a theme. They're not scoring over 5 points on us in the last 5 minutes. I can't tell you how many wins we have between Washington State and Ole Miss, and now we beat Fresno State and Santa Clara and St. Mary's, or not St. Mary's, the Santa Clara game. But we've constantly, the last 5 minutes, really clamped down and not give them any easy buckets. And their lack of rhythm and lack of getting a flow the entire game is showing up. Either they're tired or they're fatigued. You look at Robinson, he played 37 minutes, and he scored. He had a great offensive game, but he didn't do anything in the last 5 minutes.
Okay, the numbers are, Matt, the Ole Miss game was a 12-2 run to end the Ole Miss game. The Tulsa game was a 14-2 run to end the Tulsa game with a win. And then the Santa Clara game was a 12-2 run also. So that's 3 games where it was at least, 12-2 to finish the game. And all those games were close too. It wasn't like they were already up 15. You're talking tied or trailing in that 4, 5, 6 minute mark. And they're making plays to finish it. The Washington State game was close. It wasn't a huge run, but they were able to pull that game out, make some stops late. And then last night against 17-5 after they trailed, and they were up 10 points, and Fresno made that huge run, took the lead. It was, I wasn't at the game, but it was pretty quiet in there from what you could tell on TV and stuff last night. When Robinson had that dunk, which I believe put them up by 2. And previous Boise State teams might have folded, Matt. We've talked about this, but it really does seem like, and Leon Rice said it in the postgame last night, that this team just has a confidence and a comfort level about them that, okay, we're right where we want to be. It's 5 minutes to go, and it's a 3-point game or a 2-point game, or it's tied. Like they're okay with that. And there was this stat a couple years ago, San Diego State had won 100 straight games when winning with 5 minutes to go or something like that, which Boise State actually was the team to end the streak. But I think there is something to get to those last 5 minutes with a chance. And this team now knows they're going to hit a couple clutch shots and they're going to play good defense. And that's a pretty good trait to have, to be able to close out games. And they've now done that, in nearly half their wins here.
You look at our team, they're tough as nails. They're not soft. I think years past, you could say there's guys on the team that are soft. When the going gets tough, they get out of the way. They don't want to take a charge. They don't want to elbow somebody to get a rebound. They don't want to fight for it, dive on the floor. They don't have anything soft about their team. You just look at our starting 5. You got Mladen, the big center. You got Kijab, who's tough as nails as the 4. You got Tyson in there, Degenhart, who we know will give up his body at any moment. Shavers as scrappy as they come. And then Eman, a 6'8", 225-pound point guard. I mean, they are tough to score on. And now they have the swag about them on the defensive end that you're not going to score on us. I'm taking pride, and I'm not letting you get by me. And, you know, it's transferring to wins. 6 out of the 10 wins coming down the last 5 minutes. I mean, that's toughness.
Yep, it is. And hey, quick reminder, don't forget about Matt next time you're looking to buy or sell a home in the Treasure Valley. Number 1 ranked realtor in the Treasure Valley. Nobody in the Treasure Valley in 2021 sold more homes than Matt Bauscher. So give him a call. Check him out on their social media channels, the website, BauscherRealEstate.com. And appreciate Matt for doing the show and his support of Bronco Nation News. And hopefully you will help return the favor by using him for your next home purchase or sell. And Matt, another thing that maybe a slightly concerning thing moving forward is they only played 7 guys last night. And I know after the game, Leon was asked about it, and he said that that's not sustainable. He knows other guys are going to need to get in there. He mentioned Pavle still not being 100% with the ankle, but over the course, you can win a game like that, but over the course of an 18-game grind conference season, I mean, how much do they need more guys to contribute here? How hard is winning? Is it sustainable? Because it did seem like there was a stretch where Boise State was starting to get gas there in the last 5, 6, 7 minutes, only playing 7 guys. How hard is that to only play 7, and how much do they need some more guys to step up?
I think ideally you'd want 8 to 9 in a rotation so everybody still has a really good flow. Once you start playing 10-plus guys, everybody's only playing 15 minutes. It's hard to get a good rhythm. But Max Rice last night played 27 minutes. That's got to be a career high or close to for him. And Najee Smith had great energy with his 16 minutes, and the rest went to the starters. I think we got to get 1 or 2 more guys, playing between 10 and 20 minutes to take a little of that pressure off. I mean, Shaver and Armus both played 34 minutes. They were the highs, but Degenhart playing 30 is very manageable. I mean, you never play back-to-backs until the tournament, so that's nothing crazy. Acott only played 28. I mean, he's looked really fresh out there, and Kijab played 31, so I don't think there was anything earth-shattering out there. It's not like, Robinson who played 37. So I think if you get 1 or 2 more guys, that's the kind of ideal. Granted, everybody stays healthy.
Boise State again up to number 50 in the Ken Pom rankings. They're up to number 46 in the Bart Torvik rankings. They're moving up in some of these computer rankings, Matt, and obviously it's still a long ways to go. And, I know it was fun last night. Some people were already saying, oh, what's this team got to do to make the tournament? I mean, sure, if they go 18-0 in the Mountain West, they'll get in. So I think there, technically is a path, but I think it's a little premature to be talking about that. But I mean, obviously they put themselves in position now where these games matter and these games mean something. And you got the 2-game road trip coming up. Let's spin things ahead here. You got at Wyoming on Saturday, at Utah State on Tuesday. And for me, you look at these 2 games kind of in a grouping here. If you can go 1-1, for me, I think you call that a win. If you can pick off one of these 2 wins, Wyoming is number 90. And again, Laramie's not an easy place to play. I don't care if Wyoming was 290 in Ken Pom, not 90. That's always a tricky, sneaky, tough place to go. Jeff Linder, former Boise State assistant, doing a great job at Wyoming. He's going to have them ready to go. And then you have to go right back on Tuesday, quick turnaround to Utah State. And they're ranked 57th in Ken Pom. And so, and Boise State is, had some struggles there at the D. Glenn Smith Spectrum in Logan. So these 2 games, I think, is going to tell us a lot about this team, Matt. You got 2 games. You got to find a way to win one of them, right?
Absolutely. And it's going to be it's going to be dead on New Year's Day at Wyoming. It's always dead there. It's a day game, if I'm not mistaken, a 2:00 game. The students are out. It's going to be dead. They're going to have that senior leadership and find their own energy, be very mentally tough and get themselves ready to go. And then Utah State, I'm hoping the students are still gone because they have the best atmosphere in the Mountain West, bar none. And I'm hoping the students are gone so we can get a little bit of alleviation there on the craziness that Utah State fans provide. But that's a tough place to play. I think 1-1 would be good. If we can go 2-0, I mean, it's going to be quite the streak.
This is one of the tougher stretches I can remember. I tweeted about it, Matt, and then I looked it up. I don't think Boise State in my 9 years here and in a long time has played 10 out of 12 games against teams in the top 100 at Ken Pom. I mean, you look at their Ken Pom thing, and it was 83 Santa Clara, 47 Washington State, 64 Fresno. And let's not forget, there's 350 Division I teams. So someone saying, oh, a 64th ranked team, an 80th ranked team, that's still a team in the top 25% of all teams in college basketball. So some of these some of these games that they're winning. And then again, you keep looking at it moving forward. This next stretch, Wyoming's 90th, Utah State's 57th. And then that big one that I've already got circled next Friday, Colorado State. I know it's a little bit of a later game, 8:30, but it's a Friday night. They're going to come in undefeated. And because of some COVID issues, Matt, that's going to be their first road game of the season. So if you can pack Extra Mile Arena, an undefeated, number 17, number 18 in the country team coming in, a top 30s, 5 KenPom team, and it's their first road game of the year. I think that's going to be a huge game. I think hopefully Boise State, if they can pick off one of these next 2 games, can get a big crowd next Friday.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I mean, traditionally, you think Wyoming's an easy game. Well, they're 11-2. They went to Seattle and beat UW. I mean, they got a really tough, gritty team, and Linder will have those guys ready to go. He's rah in your face, call you out kind of coach that motivates you that way, and he's done a great job at Northern Colorado and now at Wyoming. But I don't think there's ever been in history the Mountain West that after non-conference, every single team has a winning record, San Jose State included. I don't think that's ever happened. So that'll help the ratings go. If we can – I said it before, if we can ever go 13-5 or 14-4 in the Mountain West, I mean, we're going to look like a lock.
Well, and the problem is that it's good or bad that New Mexico and San Jose State, 2 of the worst teams in the league, you only play them once this year. So you do lose basically, you lose basically 2 guaranteed wins that you would potentially help that number get you to the tournament, but also your computer rankings are going to be that much higher because you're playing better teams. You have a better chance to get better wins, and you're not going to be bogged down by 240th ranked New Mexico or San Jose State. So there's kind of a give and take there, but the 2 worst teams in the league, Boise State only plays them once this year, and then they get the home and homes with all the other talented teams. And the way the schedule works out, you've got this next stretch here, 8 out of 9 games where you're playing teams in the top 90 of KenPom, and then you get 4 in a row against Air Force, UNLV, New Mexico, and San Jose State, the 4 worst teams in the league, and then you finish strong with 4 of your last 5, including 3 at home, Utah State, San Diego State, UNLV, Nevada, Colorado State to finish it off. So it's kind of a really tough stretch now, a little bit of a lull in the middle where you can hopefully continue to get things going, get some wins, and then you finish with some strong games too. So this is a big opportunity here for Boise State, and so far, they're in the midst of this. They're taking advantage of it. They've won these games so far, now 7 in a row, and it's starting to get exciting here, Matt.
And they've been playing better on the road or at neutral sites than they have at home, to be honest. So I think, this Wyoming game, that's a huge game. I mean, to go 2-0 early on is huge. And I think, they've been great on the road. So that's encouraging, showing how well they've been away from Extra Mile.
And that's why the game last night was so important. We talked about it last week, but if you lose that game last night, all of a sudden you're looking at going on the road for these 2 games, potentially being like 0-3 in league. So you got the first one at home. That was nice. And now you get the road swing here, and hopefully they can go 1-1. So we'll be back Saturday. We'll have a live pregame show about 1:15 or so, tip off 2:00 on New Year's Day. That'll be on the CBS Sports Network. Shout out to Chris Lewis, Boise resident, the women's play-by-play guy. He's actually going to be on the call for CBS Sports Network from Laramie. So cool to have a Boise guy doing the national TV broadcast. So looking forward to that. But Matt, we haven't done a show yet after a loss, so we've only had positive things to talk about. Hopefully next Wednesday, if that's the case, and they've somehow won both of those games, I think we'll really have something to talk about.
Now you're in beautiful Hawaii. It is snowing. The backdrop, it is snowing here in Boise, so there's quite a difference in the current temperature and weather.
Yes, no, fun family trip to Hawaii for a few days, but still, I extended the trip, but had to work a little while I was here, so excited for that. But it was a fun to watch the game last night. Going to be fun to watch the game on Saturday. And Matt, appreciate your time. Hope folks, again, will check out BauscherRealEstate.com and check you out for the next time they're looking to buy or sell a home. And hope folks check out Bronco Nation News as well and consider a subscription. And congratulations, Boise State fans. It's aside from the football game getting canceled, I know that was a sad deal. You got a lot to be excited about with this basketball team moving forward. So big one on Saturday. And again, Matt, thanks for your time, man. And hopefully next Wednesday we can be talking about a 3-0 start to conference play.
Go Broncos, baby.
There it is. He's Matt Bauscher on BJ Rains. This has been the Matt Bauscher Show, presented by RoPaint.com, the official paint and coatings company of Boise State Athletics. Have a great day, folks. We will talk to you later. Bronco Nation News, BroncoNationNews.com.
When it comes to concrete, we've got you covered. RoPaint.com offers custom concrete coating services for your garage, business, warehouse, and more. And we do it in one day. We are your complete concrete coatings solution.